By age 7, your child's money habits are already formed. That's not a parenting blog opinion. It's the finding of a Cambridge University study. And it means that by the time most schools even mention money, the most important window has already closed. So what are wealthy families doing differently in those first 7 years? Today, we break down 5 things rich parents teach their kids about money that schools never will. In most homes, money is the last taboo. Parents will explain where babies come from before they'll explain where the mortgage payment goes. Kids grow up hearing money mentioned only in 2 situations: when there isn't enough of it or when someone's arguing about it. Now think about what that silence teaches. If the only time a child hears about money is during stress, money becomes stress, something scary, something adults whisper about, something you don't ask questions about. Wealthy families flip this completely. Money is dinner table conversation. Kids hear their parents weigh a purchase out loud. They hear words like budget, invest, and trade-off used calmly, the same way other families discuss the weather. When the family plans a holiday, the kids see the thinking. Here's what it costs. Here's what we're setting aside each month. Here's what we're saying no to so we can say yes to this. Nobody hands a 7-year-old a spreadsheet. That's not the point. The point is the emotional temperature. In these homes, money isn't a threat or a mystery. It's a tool, and tools can be learned. So here's your move this week. Let your kids overhear one calm money decision. That's it. Say you're thinking out loud at the shop. This one's cheaper, but it breaks faster, so we're paying more for the one that lasts. 10 seconds. That's a lesson. Allowance is earned, not given. The second difference shows up every time pocket money changes hands. In many homes, allowance works like a small salary for simply existing. Every week, money appears. It doesn't matter what the child did or didn't do. The money arrives anyway. And without meaning to, that teaches a quiet lesson. Money just shows up. Wealthy families tend to run it differently. Money is connected to contribution. A child who wants pocket money looks for a way to create value. Washing the car, weeding the garden, setting up a small lemonade stand on a Saturday morning, helping a neighbor carry in groceries. And notice what the child actually learns here, because it's not really about the $2. They learn that money is the result of solving a problem for someone. That effort has a price tag, that if you want more, you don't ask harder, you work smarter or offer more. There's a famous pattern among self-made families. The kids often run tiny businesses before they're teenagers, reselling sweets at school, walking dogs, selling drawings. The amounts are pocket change. The mindset is priceless, because a child who has earned $10 treats it completely differently than a child who was handed $10. We'll dig into the great chores and allowance debate in another video, because there's a real argument about which chores should ever be paid. But the core principle stands. Connect money to value created, and your child learns where money actually comes from. Assets versus liabilities. Difference number 3 is a single idea, and most adults never learn it. Here it is, child-sized. An asset puts money into your pocket. A liability takes money out. That's it. That one sentence separates families that build wealth from families that just earn and spend. Let me show you how it plays out. Picture 2 teenagers, both 16, both given $200. The first buys sneakers. Beautiful sneakers, and for 1 week, he's the most stylish kid in school. A year later, the sneakers are worn out of fashion, and worth nothing. The money didn't just leave, it took future money with it, because there's always a next pair. The second teenager buys a used lawnmower. Not glamorous, nobody compliments a lawnmower, but that summer, he mows 15 lawns a week at $10 each. By September, the $200 has become over $1,000, and the mower still works next summer. Same money, opposite directions. One purchase consumed money, the other one produced it. Rich parents drill this distinction early in tiny, everyday moments. When their child wants to spend, they ask one simple question: will this be worth anything in a year? Not to forbid the sneakers, kids should enjoy things, but to make sure the child sees the difference between spending and building. Because a child who can tell an asset from a liability at 10 will make very different decisions at 30. Failure is a tuition fee. The fourth difference might be the hardest one for loving parents to copy. Ready? Rich parents let their kids lose money. Not big money, small, painful, unforgettable amounts. The child who spends all his savings on a cheap toy that snaps in 2 days, they let it happen. The kid who blows her whole allowance in the first hour of the fun fair and has nothing left for the rides she actually wanted, they don't top her up. And when it goes wrong, there's no lecture. No, I told you so. Just a calm question afterwards. So, what would you do differently next time? Here's the logic, and it's cold, beautiful math. A 10-year-old losing $20 on a bad decision is education. A 30-year-old losing $20,000 on the same type of decision is a crisis. The lesson is identical. Impulse buying, trusting hype, not checking quality. The only difference is the price of the ticket. Early failure is simply the cheapest tuition your child will ever pay. Most of us instinctively do the opposite. We rescue, we refund, we quietly replace the broken toy. It feels like love, but it deletes the lesson, and it teaches something dangerous instead, that money mistakes have no consequences because someone will always bail you out. So the move here takes courage, not cash. Give your child real control over small amounts, and when they fail, and they will, let the failure finish its sentence. Comfort the child. Don't refund the mistake. Compound interest is a superpower. The fifth difference is the only one that involves math, and it's the piece of math that quietly builds every family fortune on Earth. Compound interest. Money that earns money, and then that money earns money too. Adults nod politely at this. Kids, when you show it right, look at you like you've revealed an actual magic trick. So here's how rich parents show it. Take a single grain of rice on a chessboard and double it on every square. 1 grain, then 2, then 4, then 8. Halfway across the board, you're carrying sacks. By the final square, the number is larger than all the rice ever grown in human history. That's what doubling does. It starts boring and ends unbelievable. Money works the same way, just slower. And that's why the most valuable thing your child owns isn't talent, luck, or even income. It's time. Here's the picture to remember. One person starts investing $100 a month at 15. Another starts at 30. Same amount, same returns. By retirement, the early starter doesn't have a little more. They can end up with multiples of what the late starter has, despite investing for only 15 extra years. The head start does more work than the money does. Your child has the one advantage every investor on Earth wishes they could buy back: decades of runway. Rich parents make sure their kids know it before they're old enough to waste it. So let's put all 5 on the table. Talk about money openly. Connect money to value created. Teach the difference between assets and liabilities. Let small failures teach big lessons, and show them the magic of compound interest while time is still on their side. Notice something? Not one of these requires being rich. They require being intentional. You don't need a fortune to teach your kids like wealthy families do. You need a dinner table and the willingness to start the conversation tonight. If you want the full breakdown of how money habits get locked in by age 7 and the 5 habits to build before that window closes, watch this video next and subscribe. Every week we turn the money lessons of wealthy families into simple steps for yours.